The nucleus of a eukaryotic cell contains chromosomes. In this diagram, you can see a eukaryotic cell, and this big blue blob in the middle is the nucleus. You should know that the nucleus contains chromosomes, but what are chromosomes? Each chromosome is made of a single molecule of DNA. So we note that chromosomes are found in the nucleus, and this image in the middle shows a single chromosome. The chromosome itself is made up of DNA strands all coiled together. So why is it that chromosomes are often shown as X-shaped? Chromosomes can appear in two different ways. On the left-hand side, we have a single chromosome. This is a long, thin structure. This image on the right-hand side shows a duplicated chromosome, as you would see it before cell division. Now, this image is what we would normally see when we discuss chromosomes. So when a cell is ready to divide, the chromosomes are copied, forming the X-shaped chromosomes that we see in images and micrographs. These copied chromosomes are joined together at the centromere. This is the middle point. You don't need to recall this word centromere for the exam. A diploid cell is one that has two copies of each chromosome. On the left, we have a diagram that shows an animal cell, and on the right is a plant cell. Nearly all animal cells and many plant cells contain two copies of each chromosome. Because of this, we call these diploid cells. How many chromosomes do we have? Human body cells are diploid and contain 23 pairs of chromosomes. This diagram shows paired chromosomes. We inherit half of our chromosomes from each parent. So, in each body cell that we have 23 chromosomes inherited from our biological mother and 23 chromosomes inherited from our biological father. So if we have 23 pairs of chromosomes, how many are there in total? Human body cells contain 46 chromosomes in total. This diagram shows all 46 of our chromosomes when they're paired up. They've been put into size order, so the smallest pairs are here at the bottom and the largest are up here at the top. So while most people have 46 chromosomes in total, some humans have chromosome disorders, which means that they have more or fewer copies. So this diagram shows 23 pairs of chromosomes that would be found in a diploid cell. Now let's take a look at a cell that only has one copy of each chromosome. A haploid cell is a cell that only has one copy of each chromosome. This diagram shows a sperm cell, and this diagram here shows an ovum or an egg cell. We can refer to these cells as gametes or sex cells. These are haploid cells. The chromosomes have been halved. These two cell types are involved in reproduction, and you will look at this in more detail in other parts of your course. How many chromosomes are there in haploid cells? Human gametes are haploid and each contain 23 unpaired chromosomes. Therefore, gametes contain only half of an organism's DNA. So, a sperm cell contains half of the chromosomes from the father, and an egg cell contains half of the chromosomes from the mother. The reason for each gamete containing just 23 chromosomes instead of 46 is so that when they fuse during reproduction, they form a new diploid organism with the full 46 chromosomes. So, how can we summarise the difference between haploid and diploid cells? So, haploid cells have 23 chromosomes, and an example of a haploid cell would be a gamete like a sperm cell or an ovum. Diploid cells have 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs. An example of a diploid cell would be a body cell. It's important that you know that most cells in the body contain pairs of chromosomes, but that the sex cells have unpaired chromosomes. Each chromosome carries a large number of genes. Genes are sections of DNA. For example, this part indicates gene A, and this part of the chromosome indicates gene B. There are many genes along the length of a chromosome. So what's the function of genes? Genes are sections of DNA that act as instructions to make proteins. So, for example, gene A contains the instructions to make protein A, and gene B contains the instructions to make protein B. Because genes contain the instructions to make proteins, they also help to produce a certain characteristic within the organism. Each cell contains 23 pairs of chromosomes, so how does this affect the genes? Humans have 2 copies of each chromosome, one from each parent, so they have 2 copies of each gene. Different versions of the same gene are called alleles. This diagram shows paired chromosomes. Remember that we inherit one from each parent. These yellow bands indicate alleles, so this top one will be the allele for gene A, and the bottom band indicates the allele for gene B. Now, each chromosome will have a gene A, but the allele on this chromosome could be slightly different to the allele for gene A on this one, or it could be the same. The same applies to gene B, so the allele for gene B on this chromosome could be different to or the same as the allele for gene B on this chromosome. You will be expected to be able to explain the terms chromosome, gene, and allele for your exam.
Thanks for watching. If you want to take your GCSE revision to the next level, head over to launchpadlearning.com and check out our smart learning platform that's been designed to get you top results in your exams. We cover your whole specification and make revision fun with interactive quizzes, easy-to-follow videos, and more. You'll be kept motivated by your own AI tutor who's here to support you every step of the way. To check it out for yourself, click here. Or click here to keep watching a selection of the videos from our full GCSE Biology course. See you there!